Good afternoon. I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. The Makabayan bloc will be seeing reduced representation in the lower house, with Kabataan and Gabriela seen as the only progressive party lists likely to make the cut. Maan Enriquez with the report.
After getting a handful of endorsements from different parties and prominent figures, House Majority Leader Martin Romualdez has now received the support of current House Speaker Lord Alan Velasco, according to ACO Bicol Party List Representative Alfredo Garbin Jr., who was present when the two met. He said Velasco himself personally wants Romualdez to take over.
Speaker Love wants Madjo to succeed in the 19th Congress and even beyond, kasi we're expecting that Majority Leader Romualdez will serve not only in the 19th Congress but even in the 20th Congress as a speaker.
According to Garbin, legislations on prices of goods, agriculture, and electricity await Romualdez.
The issues on lowering the prices on the basic commodities, especially the main staple, which is yung rice, and then how to lower the cost of energy.
While a House supermajority is evident, the opposition will remain challenged in the 19th Congress. Makabayan bloc has yet to decide if they will join the minority or if they will remain independent.
Definitely, nasa opposition kami, hindi lang namin alam kung magma-minority kami or mag-i-independent kami. We're due to meet ang Makabayan within this week para dyan.
Despite being in the opposition, Gabriela Representative Arlene Rosa said they have a good relationship with Majority Leader Romualdez.
Maayos naman yung relation namin with Majority Floor Leader Martin Romualdez. Pero syempre, dahil nasa opposition kami, we will still continue to give our opinions at yung aming mga kailangang i-rehistro ng mga posisyon.
The Makabayan bloc, just like the rest of the opposition, will have a minuscule representation in the Congress, with only Kabataan, ACT Teachers, and Gabriela likely to reach the 2% of votes threshold. The Commission on Elections has postponed the proclamation of winning party list groups, which was initially set to happen on Thursday. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Let's get a bigger idea about how the lower house is shaping up, with Kabataan Party List first nominee Raul Manuel joining us over Zoom. Good afternoon, Raul. Thank you for joining us. We have Kabataan Party List among the top 20 with a little over 500,000 votes. Is this turnout something that you guys expected, or are you confident of securing at least one seat in the 19th Congress?
We are confident of still maintaining youth representation in Congress. Actually, itong 500,000 votes which we garnered in the recent elections is the highest that we have received since Kabataan Party List started to field the nominees for the party list race. At patunay din ito that our youth are very much interested to participate and have a say in the various issues that confront our country.
All right, and Kabataan and Gabriela, as we have said, are seen as the only two party lists among the Makabayan bloc to actually make it to the 19th Congress. Have you guys regrouped and spoke to each other about how the opposition will likely position itself in the 19th Congress?
Magkakaroon pa lang ng mga pagpupulong para makapag-strategize paano tayo sa loob ng Kongreso. But surely, we will not waver in being the voice of groups that have to be heard in the halls of government. Hindi din tayo magko-compromise dun sa pagtutulak ng mga contents ng People's Agenda which we have been campaigning before and during the election season. May it be on issues on employment, education, livelihood, agriculture, and others.
Alright, na very up in the rankings din, no? Nandyan din yung Duterte youth. Do you see them being a better representation of the youth sector this time around compared to the last time?
Well, to be frank, we don't see them as a fierce competitor. Their track record speaks na hindi naman talaga sila isang grupo para sa kabataan. They just speak in behalf of entrenched political interests yung mga na-file nila ay hindi naman talaga para sa kabataan, as opposed to Kabataan Party List being one of the 10 na most productive legislators dahil sa paano tayo nagpe-pay attention and how we are very sensitive to the concerns of young people, which we translate into bills and resolutions inside Congress.
All right. Having said that, Raul, ano yung mga priority legislation ninyo? Itong next Congress, meron ba kayong priority bills na gustong isulong sa Kongreso?
Yes. Dahil patuloy pa rin yung concerns ng ating mga students and youth regarding access to education. So we are planning to refile the Safe School Reopening Bill, which will ensure that each school receives appropriate funding to enable them to adjust to limited face-to-face classes. Aside from that, Student Aid Bill, i-refile din po natin yan to ensure the students, whether they are in limited face-to-face classes or in online or distance learning or a mix of those, kaya nilang makapag-cope with expenses that they have to incur para makapagpatuloy sa kanilang pag-aaral. Aside from that, dahil kabataan po tayo, kailangan din may say tayo sa iba pang issues that might not directly affect young people. So we'll also focus on jobs. For example, how to end contractualization, how to increase wages of workers, which of course, a large part nun ay mga kabataan.
Alright, matudog din no, yung pangalan ni Congressman Martin Romualdez bilang susunod na House Speaker. Currently, siya yung majority floor leader. Ano ang reaksyon ninyo dito? No? How do you think this will affect Kabataan Party List's legislative agenda? Makakatulong ba siya?
Sa ngayon naman po, since we are focused dun sa yung priority bills na ating file, ang mas mode po ngayon ng mga kabataan ay basta kung ano yung dapat namin i-file po namin. And it is up to the whole Congress. Of course, since the majority would be allies of the presumptive administration, then mas hamon po yun sa kanila to listen to what the youth needs. At kung hindi naman nila yung aaksyonan, then nasa kanila naman yung burden para magpaliwanag sa taong bayan.
All right, and have you noted no, kung may mga programa or plataforma si Presumptive President Marcos na sa tingin ninyo ay aligned sa inyong party list agenda?
Well, too late po nung naglabas siya ng kanyang platform on education. Nung chinek po natin, meron kasing mga laman doon na somehow ay batas naman na, like access to internet, yung free public wifi. Isa po tayo sa mga naging principal author noon, batas na siya. So actually, it's nothing new. Kaya naman yun yung mahirap din talaga sa ngayon, given na hindi talaga nakapaglatag ng malinaw na platform yung ating presumptive president. Kaya let's see kung ano man yung ipafile ng kanyang mga kaalyado sa loob ng lower house.
Right, see you sa 19th Congress at maraming salamat sa inyong oras. That was Kabataan Party List First Nominee Raul Manuel over Zoom. Thank you, Raul. We'll be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Agriculture Department is warning of a possible food crisis this year. The DA cited the impact of the pandemic, the ongoing Ukraine and Russia tensions, and rising oil prices as factors pushing food instability. Agriculture Secretary William Dar says the food crisis may start to emerge this July. The agency is currently working on increasing local food production and is appealing for additional budget to aid farmers. The World Bank has likewise set aside $30 billion to address global food security issues over the next 15 months.
So yung nakikita natin at marami na rin eksperto nagsasabi na there is a looming food crisis. Tayo naman sa kagawaran ng pagsasaka ay handa tayo kasi mayroon na tayong plano, directional plan to handle these big challenges.
And the United Kingdom is already feeling the impact of the looming food crisis as inflation in England surges to 9%. The details in this video by Bloomberg.
Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey has warned that a surge in food costs could have apocalyptic consequences.
I'm afraid the one that I am going to sound, I guess, rather apocalyptic about is food. I have to tell you that, I think this is a big concern.
He says that's worrying both for the UK and the developing world and urged governments to free up the flow of crops from Ukraine because while the country does have food in store, it can't get it out at the moment. That's led wheat prices to surge in recent weeks, and that contributes to the price of other foodstuffs like eggs and chicken because wheat is used as feed. So high food price growth in the UK is one of the main drivers of headline inflation. And because poorer households spend a bigger chunk of their earnings on essentials, it hits them harder. The price of some staples like cooking oil are already hitting double-digit growth. So what more can the Bank of England do? It's already hiked interest rates 4 times back to back, and that has a cost. The bank expects the UK economy to contract in the years ahead and for hundreds of thousands of people to lose their jobs. Ministers have criticised the central bank for not doing enough fast enough to control inflation, but economists warn that by attacking the central bank's independence, they risk undermining its credibility, which will make the fight against inflation even more unwinnable.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.